Welcome to another episode of Software Explorations, Concept and Overviews, hosted by yours truly, Tech Coach Ralph, where we're engineer to win. In today's episode of Software Explorations, we are going to be looking into sprint retrospectives. Last week, we had a discussion about what sprint reviews are, why they're important. This week, I want to talk about sprint retrospectives, which help the team get better, working on continuous improvement. All right, but before going any further, do me a big favor. If you haven't done so already, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button so you know every time we go live and drop new content, as well as go over to techcoachralph.dev where you can get access to our sprint reviews that the Tech Barbarians do, as well as exclusive content that is not available anywhere else, where I'm sharing with you how I update my resume, how to look for jobs, how to research the people who work at the jobs, who you can get in contact with, how to use Glassdoor to research for salary information and job interview for like particular preparation for job interviews at that company that you might have an interview for, things of that nature, as well as signing up for one-on-one coaching with me. And we can work together. We can run it up. All right. So that is that techcoachralph.dev. But with that being said, let's jump into what exactly are sprint retrospectives. Our topic today, sprint retrospectives, continuous improvement for your Scrum team. Our agenda for today, what are sprint retrospectives? We shorten it to retros. Why are they important? How are they conducted? What are some best practices for your retros? Common challenges, helpful tools, and then we're going to wrap it up with our conclusion, as well as give you an opportunity to share some feedback and ask us any questions. So, what are sprint retros? The definition of a sprint retrospective is it's a meeting at the end of each sprint where the Scrum team reflects on the sprint. So we look back to see how things went, right? The purpose is to inspect how the last sprint went with regards to the people on the team, the relationships that we have with each other, the processes that we follow, and the tools that we use, and to create a plan for improvement. We're always looking for improvement, continuous growth. So why are the sprint retros important? So it offers continuous improvement. It helps the team improve incrementally. So the same way that we build a product, build a software incrementally, we help the team improve incrementally as well. Team alignment. It ensures everyone is on the same page. So we don't like to have one person over here, one person over there. We like to have a discussion, an open and transparent discussion, so that we can make sure that we're moving as a unit in the same direction. It also solves problems. It identifies obstacles and bottlenecks. So there can be like software obstacles, bottlenecks. There can be people obstacles and bottlenecks. And we're like, okay, how can we fix this? How can we work together to win? It fosters transparency, encourages honest communication. So one thing that is so important with sprint retros is that, and when they're done often, like at the end of every sprint, as they should be, we get to lay it all out, things that went well, things that didn't go so well, and how we can make it better. And we're not looking, we're going to get into this a little bit further on, but we're not looking to put blame on anybody. It's just how can we get better? Improving morale. It builds a supportive environment. And when everybody comes into the sprint retro, and we all know that we're coming in for the good of our team, the good of our software, the good of our company, we're here more to support each other instead of to blame each other for anything that might be going wrong. So how are sprint retros ran? We're going to get into each of these, but let's just go through them right now, right? So you set the stage, you gather data, you generate the insights from that data, you decide on action items, what to do, and then you end the retro that way. So let's get into each one of them. Setting the stage, you create a comfortable and safe space. So one thing that we always do at our retros is that we start off saying, no matter of what is discussed in this meeting, we work as a team, and we're not looking to put blame on any individual person, but we're looking to see how we can get better and how we can work more efficiently together. Icebreakers or check-ins to engage the team. So use icebreakers to, you might throw out a question or a topic, and then so people can start talking. They can get more comfortable, they can get more into it, because it is a little bit hard when there's going to be some critique and possibly some criticism of the way things that went on the sprint. So you always want to have this icebreaker to put people at ease. Gather data, reflect on what went well, what didn't go so well, and what can be improved. Use the feedback tools like start, stop, continue, or the 4 L's: liked, learned, lacked, longed for. So part of the retro, we always have to do an assessment. It's kind of like a postmortem when a piece of software didn't work as it should. And then so after you get it fixed, and then you go back and say, okay, what was the problem? How can we prevent it from happening again? But with the retro, it has the positive and the negative. Like, okay, what went well? Oh, we got this piece of software out. Oh, what didn't go so well? Oh, we missed out on our sprint goal. what could be improved. If we worked this way, or if we had this tool, this feature, then we would have been a lot more productive. And then with the feedback tools, it's a way to document that data so we can have the conversation. So what would you, well, okay, so part of the sprint, what would we like to start doing? What would we like to stop doing? What would we like to continue doing? So what could help us? What is not helping us and we need to get rid of? And what do we need to continue doing because it has been working for us? Or the 4 Ls, what did I like about the sprint? What did I learn from the sprint? What did I lack in the sprint that maybe not be as productive as I could be? What did I really, really want or desire? What did I long for that could help me be more efficient and help the team be more efficient in the sprint? Gathering insight. So after you do all those, you're going to identify the patterns and the root causes of the challenges that we're facing. And based on those patterns and those root causes, we document them and we discuss them. We talk, we use brainstorming and group discussion so we can see what challenges did we face, how, and did other people feel the same? Because maybe I'm feeling something, but no one else is experiencing it. Or a lot of times what happens is the same thing that I'm feeling, other people have that problem as well, and they notice it too. But because we're so busy trying to get things done in the sprint, we didn't really talk about it. We're just like, get it done, get it done, get it done. But now that we got it done, we go back and look back on it and say, all right, what is what could we have done that would have made it a lot better? We talk about that. Now, the next thing we do, we decide on the action items. So based on the data that we gathered, based on the insight that we generated, we decide, okay, what can we do? What are some concrete steps we could at least try to see if it'll make it a little bit easier for us moving forward? And then you prioritize and you assign those tasks for follow-up. So it's not just say, okay, we can do this, we can do that. You say, all right, I'm going to own this. And this person says, I'm going to own that. And then maybe in the next retro or maybe at a different meeting, we say, hey, this is how this is going. We tried this, we did that. And now, we made improvement. Oh, actually, this didn't work so much. So we're going to scrap that idea. And then you end with closing the retro. You can have a closing thought. You can have a reflection, or one thing that we love to do is do team appreciation, where we have we highlight the kudos. We call them kudos of the different members of the team who helped us, who had a significant impact on the sprint, and we just either one person will read it all, or each person will read the kudos that they left for a particular person, because it is important, especially after having these tough conversations, that we show each other that we really do appreciate each other, and that our goal is to work well with one another. And it's not that we're trying to cause any division or strife, but it's actually for us to be able to have successful working software on a successful team. So what are some best practices for sprint retrospectives? Time boxing the meeting, super important. Keep it to 60 to 90 minutes. I think this is like one of the most important things, is like have enough time for the meeting so that we don't end up trying to rush it, and that we say, all right, is 60 minutes enough? Do we need 90 minutes? We don't want to really go any longer, because let's be very focused on the purpose of the meetings that we're having. All right. Also, I'm going to throw in there time box the topics that we're discussing, because you don't want to end up spending 60 minutes on one topic and then try to rush through the other 5 topics in about 30 minutes. So time box the meeting, but also time box the topics. Encourage open communication. So the way you do that is you avoid blaming anybody for anything in particular. Let's focus on the product and the processes that we're using, and not the people that we think might be at fault, because then you're going to start getting people to be defensive. And at the end of the day, it is not the people, it is the processes, and it is like whatever other complications that we might run into, and how can we fix that? Using visual aids, whiteboards or sticky notes to capture thoughts. So just a way that it becomes interactive, and that we have different ways to capture those thoughts. That's very, very helpful. Rotate facilitation, let different team members lead. And I think that's important, because when you have different people leading, it gives them a sense of involvement, a sense of care, and they think about it a lot more. They want to do well. And, it's just great practice for everyone. And then, of course, focus on solutions. Prioritize action items for the next sprint. So something that we call it Delta Plus, where based on the discussions that come out of the retro, now when we're planning, what are some things we can implement for the next sprint that'll help us work better in the future? Some common pitfalls that we face with sprint retros is that it is hard to get people to participate, because a lot of it, they just don't like talking about bad things, and they don't want this to someone to feel like you're bashing them or something. But it is very, very important that You encourage everyone to share. And one of the things that I try to do is if, let's say I ask a question for anyone to answer and nobody's answering it, nobody's sharing any insights. I just like say, hey, Susan, what do you think about that? Hey, Johnny, did this work well for you? And did you have the sense of feeling? Because what we'll do is anonymously we'll have people give feedback, and then anonymously people vote on that feedback. And then now when you go, okay, let's talk about the highest rated one, and no one really wants to say anything, so we just start. So what I'll do is I'll start kind of say, so did you feel that this sprint, that this happened in this sprint? Did you feel that this took too long? And I'll ask different people so that they can start engaging, and then now more people want to talk. So encouraging people to share, finding different strategies to get them to share, right? Another common pitfall is the blame culture. So, like I said, one thing that we do at the start of our retros is we read what we call a prime directive, and it's basically saying that no matter what we talk about in this retro, um, we're not looking to blame anybody for anything in particular. The goal is for us to come out with ideas and strategies on what we can do to work better as a team, so that we can build amazing software, not implementing action items. So why go through the whole retro to get these different things that we could try and then we don't do anything? So one of the things that we do to avoid that is to assign responsibility, and then we follow up on those improvements. We do the Delta Plus where we decide what we're going to do as a team for the next sprint, and then we implement that. And every day when we go to through our daily stand up, which we'll be having a video about that coming soon. But we talk about, all right, this is our Delta Plus. This is our action item that we're focusing on for this sprint. And so we actively have it in the front of our mind. It's okay. Can we practice this today? Can we implement this today? Can we get a little bit further on it? And then lastly, rushing the meeting. Allocate enough time for thorough discussion. I think it's important to time box each topic, because we don't want to spend 30 minutes on one topic and then we avoid all the other topics. So we also don't want to rush through the meeting. That, like, to me, that's one of my pet peeves, when I feel that we're being rushed because maybe we didn't spend the right amount of time up front, maybe during the icebreaker or something like that. So let's spend a good chunk of time on the meat and potatoes of the retro, where we're getting everything hashed out, so that we can have a great working relationship with one another, as well as building amazing software. So what are some helpful tools that helps you facilitate these sprint retrospectives, right? So one very popular tool, which is used for a lot of things, but you can also, I've used it for retros before. It's called Miro. It's an online whiteboard for team collaboration. I am not the best Miro user whatsoever, but I have seen people do some amazing things. I'm in awesome time, like, by the type of work that I see people do with Miro. But it can definitely be used for retros. I've done a lot of retros using Miro. Shout out to the one of the most amazing Scrum Masters I've ever worked with. And then there's Mural, which is similar to Miro from my understanding, but it's a visual collaboration tool with retrospective templates. And I have never heard of Retrium, but it's a retro specific tool with anonymous feedback and voting. I definitely want to check that out. Maybe I'll try that out with the Tech Barbarians, or maybe we'll try it out on a live stream. There's Fun Retro, which is an online retro board recollecting feedback, voting, and tracking. Another tool that I haven't heard of, but it looks like it could be pretty cool, especially, like, making it exciting, things of that nature. There's Parable. I'm very familiar with Parable. That is what I use with Tech Barbarians when we were pointing our stories, when we were doing our retros. It's an agile meeting tool with different retro templates. And then there's Scatterspoke, which is a retro tool with anonymous feedback throughout the sprint, which I think is super awesome to be able to provide feedback throughout the sprint. Because what happens to me a lot at the beginning of a sprint, things are like, there might be some things that happen, and then by the end of the sprint, because everything worked out well, I forgot what happened at the beginning. I forgot my comments, my feedback. It's not like I wrote them down, and if it's not top of mind, then you're gonna forget about it. So I think if this is a tool that you can just submit feedback as you go along, I think that's gonna be very helpful to having a successful sprint retro at the end of the sprint. But that's it. That is everything. And so in conclusion, we spoke about what is a retro, why is the retro important, how it's conducted, what are the best practices, and some common challenges that people face for in their retros, and some helpful tools you can use to facilitate it, to make it a lot easier. And then if you have any feedback or comments or questions, please leave that for me, and I will make sure to respond to you. But this is what we do, and we're going to be doing some more of these presentations and trainings on the different agile ceremonies that happen, because they are very important. I'm just trying to be very comprehensive in all the different aspects that you would face inside of a working for a tech company. Retros, sprint reviews, that's probably going to be like two of the most important meetings that you're going to have. In addition to like our daily scrum meeting, our sprint planning, those are like the main type of meetings, but very, very important, right? But we're going to wrap it up. Let's go back to full screen. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully you found this very helpful and informative. Please, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Drop me a comment and I will make sure that I respond to you, because this is what we do here. This is very, very important. And I am hoping that it can give you some level of insight into the tech field, and not just writing some code here or doing some testing there, but to be fully immersed in how these things work inside the tech industry, because there's going to be a lot of meetings that you have to be a part of and you have to participate. I know some people talking about they have like 10 jobs and stuff like that. And they just stay on mute in these meetings, but this type of meeting, a sprint retro, there's no staying on mute. If you want to be successful in the industry, you have to contribute. You have to be a team player, and you have to help the team elevate, or they'll just put somebody else that will. All right. But we're gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Do me a big favor on your way out. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time that we go live and drop new content. And go over to techcoachrob.dev, sign up for free. I have access to all the sprint reviews that me and the Tech Barbarians do, as well as additional content for me updating my resume, to making videos on how to use your calendar efficiently, so showing you how to set up your calendar, how to look for jobs on LinkedIn, how to reach out to people on LinkedIn, so many different things that is going to help you level up. So that's techcoachrob.dev. And you can also get one-on-one coaching with me where we can work together and I can help you get to the next step. All right. But with that being said, we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Wednesday. This is Tech Coach Rob. We are out.